Everyone is going to sit there. I said, Chalo, we went there and I said, what's the canopies? I asked someone that I knew. He said, no, this is the canopies. I said, Chalo, mashallah. So now fancy, no, we're going to have canopies at 1 o'clock. So you go inside and everyone is mixing, man, woman. Allahu Akbar. No sharab, no haya. We are starting off that day with these things happening. Then when the bride eventually arrives 2 hours late, because, Asians, she said 2 o'clock, but she only arrived at 3 because of Asian timing. Maybe there's working on Asian timing, that's why. And then the food is served. But how is the food served? First you get a whole load of things served. Maybe the starters are not served. Then you must wait another half an hour because they have to do some zamal, some shaitaniyat or whatever it may be, before the nikah actually takes, before the main meal is served. So you give you starters and now you're sitting there and you're just eating starters and filling your stuff up because you were expecting to eat 2 hours before. Now you're already running 2 hours late. You had a big breakfast, no you didn't. You only had a cup of tea because you thought, I'm going wedding, I'm going to pet bharine khawa. As they say in Gujarati, pet bhar ke khayenge. Fill up our full stomachs and eat like a joyu ni joyu, never saw in our life kind of thing. So then the food is, then now the starters you've eaten them up, by the time the main course comes, you're already feeling half full. Then the main course comes, or maybe something else comes. And then again there's some dhamal that's happening. And like this, the entire day is spent in not only sin, but together with that sin, the salah is missed. There's no observation of parda, of the Islamic rules that there are with regards to mahrams and non-mahrams. And all these things are happening throughout the day. And what happens then? Then the music is playing at the same time. Because now that was dad's favorite song, or they played it when mom and dad got married now. And show me one sahabi that played music. Show me one sahabi that listened to music while he was a sahabi, not before becoming a sahabi. Guaranteed you won't find. The duff is there, but in this day and age, the duff was done those days. For what reason? Anyone knows? The duff was sounded in those days. So when it was sounded, people knew some i'lan was taking place, announcement. Or it was known in places that, when that duff is sounded, then a nikah is taking place. Today I was listening to the nikah announcements, and mashallah, so many nikahs taking place. The reality is many more should be taking place. But today we have changed that to the dole guys now, called the dole. They must come and they do their whatever they do there, and make a big entrance, out of the whole thing. And you see a person who is generally, regularly in the masjid, sometimes in the libas of sunnah, sometimes with a beard, sometimes with a topi on, and they are dancing as they're all coming in. So what are we doing? What example are we teaching the community that is around us, that is not Muslim, that doesn't know about Islam, that this is how Islam teaches you to get married? Because believe you me, a lot of non-Muslims think that a Muslim, especially an Asian one, cannot get married without having the dole guys there, without having a fancy venue, without having invited, must have, there's certain amount of white people, they've got to be there. Yeah. No, they were our neighbors when we lived there, when my child was born. So now we've got to call them, but they don't know you anymore. Yeah. You left them so many years ago. And then the kahaya. The extravagance and the wastage. And I always say, the kid is driving a Micra every day. Now all of a sudden, on the wedding weekend, now they've hired something that's so powerful. The kid doesn't know how to drive. And they end up, last year was it? Some kid up north passed away, his sister's wedding. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Can you imagine such a joyous occasion just suddenly flips and becomes such a sad occasion? Yeah, so that girl will remember for the rest of her life. We don't know what happened in that accident, but I'm saying it could have been someone else that was driving. He just happened to be in the car. He might have been catching a lift. And when your maut is written, but that girl is going to remember that the day of my wedding anniversary is going to be the same day I'm going to remember that is the day I lost my brother. So it's going to be a sad time. So we need to start off and go back to basics. Jabir radiallahu anhu, how many ahadith have you heard? Subhanallah, Jabir radiallahu ta'ala an has narrated this hadith, that hadith, this hadith, that hadith. And yet he got married and Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam didn't know. That just shows to you and me that it's not necessary for you to invite every Tom, Dick and Harry or Amr, Bakr and Zaid if that's the case. Yeah, you don't have to invite your plumber and your electrician and the guy who does this and the one who your mechanic and you. It's like you have to call everyone that's got anything to do with your family, even if it is remotely. The guy made a delivery to your house. One of the supermarkets, maybe that guy, he always comes. Have to invite him also for the wedding. Right? No, simple, straightforward, simple nikah. That is what we need to work on, my brothers. Because when we start becoming extravagant and then we are starting to waste, and instead of spending a few pounds per head, then we are ending up spending 30, 40, 50. Some people are here spending £100 per person for one day. And ask that very same person, "Bhai, you know what, can you please also give some as a donation?" No, we can't. Well, I haven't got the money, I'm broke. But where is it that we find the money when it comes to nikah? Because many a times, what do? We end up, what do? End up taking loans. Max out all the credit cards. Where can you get a loan from? How can you, because this is my first child, this is my second child, this is my 10th child, this is my last child, my first daughter, my first son, my last son. All these excuses we have to go everything against the sunnah of our Master sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where he made a simple thing. You come to the masjid, you make your adhan. Today is easy. WhatsApp broadcast list, 256 people on each list. Even if you got 2,500 contacts, 10 broadcast lists, everyone's invited. My daughter, my son is getting married. Nikah will take place here. And the other thing is, don't expect, many a times you get invited for the nikah. Now you're looking now. It doesn't, small print. Where does it say that where is the meals going to be? It's not necessary. The walima is necessary, yes, after the nikah has been consummated. So it's very, very important that we understand that from the very root, can you take a seed and put it on concrete and expect an orchard to grow from there? I doubt very much it's going to grow. And even if it does, how is it going to have roots in the ground? If we don't start off the nikah on the correct grounds, then how is that nikah going to prosper? How is that going to bring about barakat and blessings and khair? Because it's not within the teachings of our Master sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Everything in our deen is so easy. Ad-deenu yusrun. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says that deen is easy. He didn't say deen is difficult. He didn't say deen is difficult. He didn't say you have to do this, you have to have so many people, or you have to have, some people will invite, nothing against you doctors, but they have to invite the doctor, the pharmacist has to come, the dentist has to come. This is not necessary. This is not lazim. To the extent that you don't even have to invite every imam that you know. You can just send out a message and say, you know what, the nikah will be taking place of my child. Please come and take part in the nikah. Please come and give dua. And one last thing I conclude with. What is the one thing you must never have, for those who know about me? What's the one thing you must never write on your wedding invite? For those of you who've had your cards printed in India cheaply, that came misprinted, don't worry, we all pick them up. Allah's name is one very important thing. MashaAllah. Jazakallah for that reminder, yes. Something else? Only cash or no gift box. What? No box gifts. You're saying, you are telling them, bring an envelope. Bring an envelope. And those are the ones I don't give. So remember, if you're inviting me and you write that, don't expect any money. No, I might just give. Have to give. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Tahadaw tahabu. Exchange gifts with each other. Why? You will love one another. And you know what? The malice, the jealousy, the envy that grows in our hearts. Allah Ta'ala says that will be removed. Learn to exchange gifts with one another. Inshallah al-Aziz. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us. Next week, inshallah, I want to speak about 4 very important aspects within the marriage. So all you married guys, make sure you are here early. 12:55, inshallah, we start. And those that are not married and looking to get married, make sure you are here. And those that don't want to get married, because one guy told me the other day, Maulana, everyone I know here, everyone is suffering. Show me one guy that's happily married. It's like what do they call those things? Happily married. You know, it's like two opposite words or something. What do you call those things? Huh? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, where the two words are totally opposite. Ji, nikah karane? Inshallah, nikah kara denge bhai.
What is the criteria of a man and a woman if they are not following Islam in the home? No namaz, no Quran, and they say, what do you do in that situation?
As long as they have not, the muftis would know better, but as long as they have not made irtidad, that they haven't come out of the fold of Islam, then nikah can be done. As long as they are still in the fold of Islam, they haven't said, I don't, any sort of statement that takes them out of the fold of Islam, then nikah can be done. As they say, every saint has a past, every sinner has a future. Yeah. So a person could be the greatest sinner today, but tomorrow they could turn out to be the greatest saint. Yeah. So we never look at anyone and judge them in that way, inshaAllah al-Aziz. Where's Burhan? Abdul Hayy. Bismillah.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول
أشهد أن محمد رسول الله.
حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة.
لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله.
حي على الفلاح.
لا حول.
حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
Brothers, please stand up, move forward, fill up all the safs, please.